has no spin out on formation lap this week. Decent start, track conditions were dry at this point, with wet spots on the curbs and off the racing line. Defensive coming up to the next turn as car 24 easily catches me on our exit. He could try a switch back on me, but this part of the track gets narrow on exit, and if I hug the apex then he can't complete it. Maintained position, but now I have to defend a long straight against a faster car. I always opt for a non-traditional outside defensive line, as opposed to a traditional inside defensive line going into turn 1. Reason being is because an outside defensive line won't compromise my exit speed and allows me to switch back. Car 24 pulls a cheeky here and manages to get on the inside before the next turn. Mission for me now is to stay as close as possible to maximize that draft on the straight and hope he doesn't pull away too much. Yeah, not good. Ran wide there. Oversteer by 24 here, which leads me to run into him, transferring all my momentum. Car 24 is a tiny bit narrow on entry here, which leads him to run wide. This allows me to close the gap and get that juicy inside line. This chicane punishes side-by-side racing, so 24 has to yield. I position myself for a classic switchback here again, but misjudge the turn as 24 cuts the apex. That's a perfect example of how apex control as the defender, kart 24, can quite easily deter an offensive move. All our fighting allows kart 25 to enter the fray. RIP me.
Alright, now we're just gonna hope these two fight it out in the last like 8 laps and somehow it makes miraculous comeback with all the straps.
Terrible apexing there by me. This cost me big time on exit. Man, I really need to tuck in here for the straight. Man, I just have no acceleration or top end speed. Maybe I should lose some weight, haha. Their fighting gives me a window to steal the inside line and gain first place. Very average cornering tonight. Not happy. Car 25 makes contact with me on the apex and he destabilizes me. Thankfully, he gives me the position back, but then car 24 capitalizes on this sportsman-like conduct and takes first place. In 24's defense, I'm sure he had no idea what was going on. 25 defends the inside line here very well, so I decide to give him a little nudge to test his resolve. He sees right through it and does not budge. Good driving, 25. By now, we all know what I'm setting up for here. Switchback time, baby. It fails because I cannot match his acceleration. Cough, fat ass cough. So I try something new, mid-race, but it fails miserably. It's difficult to explain what I was trying, so let's try this instead. Right at this point, I have the inside line, but I don't really have all the advantage. 25 can easily cut me off in the next corner, which you can see him do on the apex. So I have two choices knowing that he will cut me off here. Number one, stay there and bump it out with him. Or two, try something new, which I might now dub as a switchover. Let me explain this. Instead of stay there, kinda on the inside, I lightly tap the brakes for a nanosecond to pull just behind him, then switch to the outside very quickly, normal racing line, and progress from there. This, in my theory, and if executed well, will give me a faster line and opportunity to get on his other side, which will then become the inside line for the next corner, and I will have better momentum because of this, because it will be the normal racing line at this point. In other words, I would switch over to the racing line and get better momentum than I would have otherwise had if I stayed on the inside. But, as we saw, this failed spectacularly, as I did not nanosecond brake enough and ended up just clipping his back and losing a lot of momentum. I genuinely think this can work well if executed perfectly, I just need to practice it more. So my back right tyre hits a wet patch here just before braking, which is why I have this big snap moment. Consistency will be why I lose so many places tonight.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Checkered flag ahead, and I got nothing left after all those mistakes. Overall, fun race, but I made way too many errors against guys who were a bit more consistent and who had better power to weight ratios than me.
Could I have done anything better? I was trying to give you that position back. No, that's okay. That was you just slipped into me. That's nothing you can do. Good racing. Keith. I knew what happened.
Yeah, but I've never won a race that you were in.
Oh, there you go.
But I wanted to do it safe.
That's awesome. Oh, did you get any overtake? I'm not very confident, but I'm fairly confident.
Let off a little early and just focus completely on my strength and numbers.
I'm not letting you pass me the whole time. Not letting you pass me, I'll split in the corner. This is my
And then you were too far away, and I was like, I feel like my car's faster. So I was like, I might be able to catch him, but it was one of those moments I had where I was like, wait, this is a sprint. I won't get him in time.